Hello everyone, this is Whitebox here with another game of Spirit Island. Today, I'm going to be doing Relentless Gaze of the Sun paired with Heart of the Wildfire with its transforming aspect, which I thought would be a neat pairing, kind of match thematically what Relentless Gaze's story does. And the transforming aspect also seems very interesting. So this replaces the innate power the burned land regrows. You get kind of a passive ability, transform rather than consume, when your actions would destroy cities, including by damage. Instead, you get 2 fear, and replace that city with 1 town and 1 explorer, and then push both those invaders. And when your actions would destroy towns, including by damage, you instead get 1 fear and replace that town with 2 explorers, and then push both those invaders. And then you get the ability Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. If you have 4 fire and 1 plant, target spirit may forget a power card to gain a power card and 1 element, which should be pretty cool here with this pairing with Relentless Gaze, I think. And then if you have 3 fire, 1 earth, 2 plant, then target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace 1 blight with 1 badlands in one of their lands, and you may do likewise, which is going to be awesome. And with the sun and a beast, target spirit may place 1 explorer with 1 beast in one of their lands, and you may do likewise. So adds a little bit of complexity rather than just removing blight with that the burned land regrows. You're going to be replacing blight with badlands, which is cool. And you can also, if you have a partner who's adding badlands, which Relentless Gaze of the Sun does, who's adding blight, then you can get even more badlands out there. So I think it'll be an interesting pairing. I'm curious to see how well it'll work. So let me get some markers here for growth options. And I think after I do my initial explore, I'm ready to go. I'm going to be playing this game against Scotland level 6 as well. I think Relentless Gaze should do okay against Scotland because they tend to have like smaller numbers of really built-up lands, and that's what Gaze of the Sun is really good with dealing with. And Heart of the Wildfire, I don't have a win against Scotland, so we'll see if I can just go straight to level 6 with them. So I've got my initial explore here in Jungle. After setup, they'll start exploring with towns, but for setup they do regular explorers. Alright, so the jungles aren't too bad. Really, I can mostly leave them alone and worried about just kind of growing my spirits. So we'll see how that goes. So let's go ahead and do Relentless Gaze. Actually, let me get a second marker here so I know that I've done my Add a Presence. And I think at first I just want to go along top track. I've played Relentless Gaze a couple times now, and I'm still not really sure the best growth pattern for them, so I'm still figuring the spirit out. I think it's one of the more tricky ones among the nature incarnate spirits. So let's add 1 presence. I'm going to add that into this land so I can get a stack of 3, which will let me repeat stuff. And for second growth option, I probably don't need a big energy gain yet. I think getting power cards will be nice because putting off the reclaim is cool. And the fact that transforming, the exaltation of the transforming flame will let me forget powers to gain elements will be really nice. So getting more power cards that I can forget is going to be great. So I think I'll gain a power card. And just a minor is fine. So I've got the Skies Herald the Season of Return. It's got Sun, which is fantastic. I like to see Sun. Sun and Moon as well, which is really good for the spirit, because that's going to let me put off adding Blight. It's also got the ability to add Destroyed Presence back for that spirit. That's cool. Yeah. Give up to 3 of your energy. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean more into consider a harmonious nature than I have in previous games, especially since I'm getting elements over from Wildfire. So I have a couple options here. I think I want to stick with Sun. Getting lots of Sun is quite good. So let's not worry about those two. So I've got Bird's Cry Warning and Sky's Herald, the Season of Return. I think both are very good cards. I don't think that I need the ability to add Destroyed Presence back. It's not a problem for Relentless Gaze because it can add its Destroyed Presence back, no problem. And it can also let Heart of the Wildfire add Destroyed Presence back. So I think your Bird's Cry Warning is probably better. It's got air as well, so that'll kind of lead towards Scorching Convergence. And it's just a really good power. So let's do that. Pushing Blight is useful, but in this case I think just letting fewer Dahan be destroyed and pushing Dahan around, also very strong. And a range 3, nonetheless. Okay, so that's going to be my power card with Relentless Gaze. It's going to get 2 energy. And I'll figure out which card I'm playing after I go to Heart of the Wildfire's turn. The Heart of the Wildfire, I think I'll probably go into card plays as well, because Exaltation of the Transforming Flame is going to require a bunch of card plays. One of the things that you want to do with Heart of the Wildfire as well, reclaiming is bad. It's a terrible feel with the spirit to have to reclaim. So the longer you can put that off, the better. So I'm going to gain a power card. I've got Enticing Splendor. Territorial Strife is quite good. That leads towards the highest level of Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. So that's probably what I want to do. I'm not bad against Scotland either, because they're going to be building a lot of stuff and probably eventually have a lot of cities. Gift of Constancy, of course, is just a broken-ass card. It's just really, really good. So I could get Gift of Constancy. But I think in this game I'll lean more towards elements than just raw power of the power cards. I mean, Gift of Constancy would probably make this a pretty easy game with these 2 spirits, actually. So maybe... I don't know. That feels a little cheap, and I think I would rather lean into my elements to try to hit Threshold, since this is a new aspect for me. So I am going to take Territorial Strife over Gift of Constancy, despite Gift of Constancy's power level. Because Territorial Strife is going to let me hit the highest level of Exaltation of Transforming Flame very easily, which is going to be cool. I'm going to get to replace a lot of Explorers with Beasts, get a lot of Beasts on the map, and eventually could get Majors that really work with those Beasts. So I think that will be a fun play style here. So that's my card game. Adding my presence, I want to go from bottom track. Getting card plays is quite strong. So let's go, let's see, 3 range. So 1, 2, 3. I could stop that C1 from building, which is probably okay. Not too worried about C4. There's nothing there that I need to protect. E3, I can just worry about counterattacks. And E7, I think I can deal with next turn a little bit better. So yeah, let's go over to C1. I'll just do 1 damage and destroy that Explorer. It also pushes Beasts in any number of Dahan, which I always forget, so I need to remember to do that. So since I do have the ability to push up to 3 Dahan, let's stack that up into C5. And yeah, that will be pretty good, I think. So I'd love to get all those Dahan into C2 if I can, because eventually Sands is going to come up, and I'll be able to protect those Dahan, have them fight back, and kill both those cities. And that will be a very efficient way to do so. So let's go with growth here. So power cards. Let's see what I actually want to do. So it's early in the game. I'm in a good position, so I don't have to worry about too much. Could just add Badlands. I don't know that that's worth it. I think I kind of want free cards for right now. So I could focus the Sun's Rays, but I don't really need to. I could even just not play a card this turn, just because I don't really have to. Or range inland directly to target land. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Scorching Convergence isn't going to do a lot this turn. I don't know where they're going to explore, but if I can get those to Han in a more useful place, I think that's going to be helpful. So I will play Bird's Cry Warning, just to set up, and eventually I'll be able to reclaim if I need to. It's not the most effective way to do it, but since I'm always adding presence, it's not the worst thing in the world either. I feel like my white balance is off. I look very red. That's probably okay. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I think that's better. Alright. So, yeah, I think I'm good with those. Let's see if I want to play a card with Wildfire. I, again, probably don't need to. I think I'm in a good position to where I can just get away with doing no card plays this turn. I mean, getting Territorial Strife going into E7, probably not bad. It's a slow power, range 1, so that'll be cool. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. I think that's okay. I could save it up so that next turn I can use it to get Exaltation of the Transforming Flame, though. I wonder if I can I deal with E7 next turn without that? Let's see. I'll do 1 damage with Firestorm. Probably not. Well, if I do Threatening Flames, I can. So yeah, I think I'll be able to deal with E7 next turn, if I even want to. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that land alone, and just save my cards for next turn. I think that'll be a little bit more powerful. So let's go straight into fast powers. No fast powers with Heart of the Wildfire. Fast powers with Relentless Gaze. I'm going to go ahead... I don't really have a great place for these cards. Going to go ahead and do Bird's Cry Warning on this land. Push these on into this coastal land. And that is that. I don't have Consider a Harmonious Nature yet, so yeah, I'm good. So going into the Invader phase, I'll just flip an event for timing. Missing out on Numinous Crisis, that would be pretty good. And then go to the Invader phase. So they're going to build in... jungle, that's the word. As this shifts over, I guess they actually do build in C1 because there are adjacent cities. I kind of forgot about that, so that is a little bit dangerous. I think I'll still be able to deal with it. So yeah, that's fine. So they'll build there. Yeah, I'll probably just let E7 go. I can go into it in a couple turns. It's not a big deal. It's an inland landing in Scotland, so don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's their build. As this shifts over, let's see, nothing happens. So then we go into wetlands. I have no coastal wetlands with these two boards. That's interesting. So it'll just be explorers coming in. That's alright with me. And then we go into slow powers. So I have no slow powers, so I'm just going to discard cards right away and go into the next growth phase. Turn 2. So turn 2 here, I think I want to keep going bottom track on Heart of the Wildfire. I could... Let's see, I need Blight for that to work, so that's the tricky thing. Maybe top track and just Threatening Flames. Start getting Blight out. I don't really like that. I think I need to wait. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about C1. I should have remembered that they would build there because of Scotland. So C1. It's potentially an issue. I'm okay with E3 ravaging even if they blight a coastal land, or blight the ocean, because that land will take care of itself, and it's possible that we'll get an event that does defense for Dahan, so that should be okay. So, what do I want to do here? I think gain another power card. Here's the move. Just stock up a little bit so I can put off that reclaim as much as possible. So Savage Maw Beasts is alright. It's free, which is good. I'm quite poor. So that's not bad. Sky Stretches to Shore is always a great power, but against Scotland, pretty nice. Delusions of Danger. Yeah, I don't love this set of cards. So I think I'll go Savage Maw Beast just because it's free, easy for me to afford. And even 1 damage is not bad. It can combo with Wildfire. I'm going to have a lot of bad lands, and once I get the Kicker Threshold to do an extra damage, I'll be able to use that to kill cities with the bad lands. So that is okay. So let's go with that, and I feel like with this Spirit I'm going to be leading into Beasts a little bit, so getting animal cards is going to be quite good. So do I want to go top or bottom is the tricky question here. Because if they're going to blight in E7, I'm going to need a way to get into that in the future, and hopefully get into that without cascading back into my territory, just because it's a little hard to deal with stuff just yet. So I think I want to go to 2 card plays and not worry about the cascade. That is going to make C1 tricky, and I would like to stop that Ravage. Because I need to target Blighted Lands. But I can probably stop that with Relentless Gaze and not worry about it too much. So I'll wait to pick my card play and presence placement until I go ahead and do Sun's turn. So let's go with adding a presence. Well, might gain a power card first. Or do I want to go with the... I can just have him skip a Ravage action. That's pretty easy. So maybe just Blinding Glare. That'll get some fear, potentially. I have the fire. I won't have 2 card plays. I won't be able to hit the 2nd level of Scorching Convergence just yet. But that's okay, I think. Let's see. Yeah, if I had 2 card plays, it'd be great. That's going to take a little while to unlock, and I think I want to go up top track until I unlock that 2nd Sun at the very least. The 4 any is also a great space, so it's hard to know when to do that. I could start going bottom track, since I'm going to have elemental support from Heart of the Wildfire, just to unlock that 2nd card play. Yeah, maybe getting that 2nd card play early is a little bit better. But the repeats seem so good. Okay, well, let's... gotta make a decision, so let's figure this out. Yeah, I messed up with C1. That was really the big problem here. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and... let's gain a power card first. Alright, so Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn, that's okay. It's Fear and Isolate, which is nice. Defend 2. Call the Guard, some fantastic card. And Lure of the Unknown is potentially good here as well. So a couple good cards, even Entrancing Apparitions. It's Defend 2. Although I think I like the Defend 2 from Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn a little bit better. pretty easy to threshold, or not to threshold, but pretty easy to use. Sphere. Or call the guard. I like the elements on this. I like that it's got plants and water and moon, because eventually that's going to make it easy to hit. Consider a harmonious nature. It's kind of got everything that I want for that. So kind of like with Call the Guard, or kind of like with Gift of Constancy, where Call the Guard here is probably the stronger power. I kind of like Railing Bog and Snagging Thorn. And the Isolate's quite good against Scotland. It's pretty flexible. So let's go with that. So that's a good card. Yeah. And with that, I think I can safely go... Let's go bottom. I want to work towards 2 card plays, and that'll make it a little more flexible to do stuff in the future. So let's add presence at a range 2. And let's see. Again, not worried about the corners. Lands 8 are fine to let go this turn, so it's really the lands where they have Blade already that I eventually want to stop from cascading. Cascades can be rough. If I can avoid a Bladed Island, I will. I gain 2 energy. And this helps me out quite a bit because I'm just going to play Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn, and I don't have to worry about C1 because it's going to be defended. So that will help out Wildfire. Makes it an easy choice. I'm going to go from bottom. I'll just go into this land. So stop that build, which will be really good. Also, it's got a Blight there already, which is nice. So we'll just kill that Explorer. Still gaining 0 energy, but that's fine. I don't have any invaders in any of my lands, so... Let's see, Territorial Strafe still won't do much. I still might not play anything. You know, it's a weird decision, but I think I'm good stocking up cards so that I'll be able to hit better thresholds once I get more card plays. It's kind of a weird thing with Wildfire, but yeah, I'm okay with that. So let's go with this 1 card play between my 2 spirits. I'll go straight into an event. Fast powers, actually. So let's defend this land 2 and get a Fear. It's also isolated, which can potentially be good, especially with the stage 2 card coming up. So if I get stage 2 jungle, they are not going to explore there, which is fantastic. So now let's go into my event. So I've got Pull Together in Adversity. For the rest of this turn, ignore Strife on each invader. That's fine. Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. And just that guy. Then Careful Defense. When invaders ravage, if the land has Dahan, defend 2. Perfect. So let's go into Ravage. So no damage here. This one will Blight. This one's defended 2 now, so 1 Dahan will take a damage. But then they'll fight back and clear that land out, which is perfect. And this one will also Blight, which is okay. Alright, that was the event. No Fear card just yet, so they're going to go ahead and Ravage in jungles. I did my Ravage, what am I doing? So, kind of out of order. Ravage just happened, so I will remove that defense. Shift this over. And after that Ravage, they're going to add 1 town to each inland land that matches a Ravage card and is within 1 range of towns and cities. So that's going to be both of those. Actually, not this one. Does within 1 range include the land itself? Because there's not a land here. I guess normally for Spirit Powers it does. So yeah, I'm going to assume that I still add a town into that land. Okay. That's fine. So then we build in Wetlands. A couple builds. I normally do underplay on Wildfire, but not quite this much. Alright, and that shifts over. Now we get my Explorer, stage 2 mountains. Okay. I think I've got a couple coastal mountains. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so now let's go into slow powers. I have no slow powers still, so I will discard cards and go back to growth. Aside from all my deliberating at the beginning of turns, these are going pretty quick. But now I'm going to start doing card plays on Heart of the Wildfire, so that'll be a little bit different. So I want to start getting energy out. I want to start getting more card plays. So I'm going to gain 3 energy. It's 2 energy plus 1 per fire showing, which is just 3 energy. And I've got enough cards for now. I want to go from bottom so I can get to 3 card plays. And there are a couple places I can go here. So going into Blighted Lands is good, especially since I don't have that second fire unlocked yet. Now I can ignore the Ravage over in C5, so I don't have to worry about stopping that with Wildfire. So potentially I can just go into E7 and start whittling that down. I think that's okay. Getting some of that cleared out. Or C4. Neither is coastal, but I think that's all right. So let's do that. Or I could go for top track, unlock that second fire since I know that I'm going to do it pretty soon anyway, and go for E2. So I think I like that more, because I can always come back and deal with E7 in the future. I will have to Cascade if I do that, but I'll be able to remove this Blight here to give a place for that Cascade to go, so I don't think that's too bad. So yeah, let's go, instead of top track, I'm going to go bottom track, unlock that second fire so I can go into E2. So that means I will get an extra energy from that growth option, which is nice. Alright, I do 2 damage, so I will destroy this town, which instead turns it into 2 explorers, and then pushes them away. So let's just probably push him into the adjacent jungle. Blight that land, which is okay. And do I have an Earth card? I don't. So I need to find a miner with Earth, because that's going to let me start removing the Blight. What did I take last time? I took... those were those cards. Last turn I took Savage Maw Beasts over Sky Stretches to Shore, Flesh Rot Fever, and Delusions of Danger. So maybe I should have taken Sky Stretches to Shore instead. It's still hard for me to hit the thresholds with that, so I think I'm okay with my choice. Eventually I'll get an Earth and I'll be able to do that a little bit easier. And this turn I should hit the first level of Exaltation of the Transforming Flame at least, possibly the second, so we can start getting some of these Explorers replaced. Of course I have no Explorers in my lands with Heart of the Wildfire just yet, but that's okay. So yeah, let's go with Territorial Strife. And I think Flame's Fury. Do I want to start doing damage with Sun yet? I think so. Yeah, so let's go with Flame's Fury as well. Probably hold off on Territorial Strife. Well, I don't know. It's a good thing to do. Yeah, it'll do enough damage, so I'm okay with that. Okay, Flame's Fury. I can do Threatening Flames, but I don't really have pushes, so yeah, I'm okay with this. Okay, so going with those 2 cards, they're both 0 cost, which is great. So looking over to Sun, I could have them skip a Ravage action, or just, yeah, I'll probably do Blinding Glare, but I will have 2 card plays this turn, which is great. So let's go from start stacking up here so I can get another stack of 3. That's kind of what you want with this Spirit. Do I want the energy or do I want the power card? So I'm going to do Blinding Glare for sure. So I know that's a card that I'm playing to stop a Cascade. And possibly get some Fear if I want to repeat it. So I want a card with Sunfire, which is my hand. And probably Wither Body's Scar Stone so I can start doing damage. Or start adding Badlands, rather. Either one is quite good. So let's go with that. Alright, and I think just so I have a bunch of energy so I can do repeats, I'm going to go with Growth 3. I have Growth 4, I guess, technically. No, I guess this would be 0, so Growth 3. So I'm going to gain 4 energy this turn from that, plus 2 from Presence Tracks. So I get a bunch of repeats potentially. Play these 2 cards. And I think I'm all set. So let's figure out my slow power, or my fast powers here. So first, I'm going to do Exaltation of the Transforming Flame over with Heart of the Wildfire. So target spirit may forget a power card to gain a power card and 1 element, and you may do likewise. So it's going to go ahead and forget Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn. I did like that power. It's got pretty good elements. So maybe I'll forget Bird's Cry Warning. Yeah, I'll forget Bird's Cry Warning. So that's that. Gain 1 element, which is going to be a moon. So I have a moon for this turn, and this spirit may do likewise. So let's go ahead and forget Flash Fires is just kind of expensive and not a really good card in my opinion, so I'm going to forget Flash Fires. Let's gain a card. So let's draw my card first for Relentless Gaze of the Sun. Could do a major, which actually I think doesn't work because I would have to forget 2 cards to gain a major. Because the forget's part of the power, not the card. So let's go with another minor. Ooh, Drought is nice. When my powers were to add Blight, yeah, Drought is very, very good. So Gold's Allure is a good card as well. Drift Down into Slumber, Dark Entangled Woods. But Drought is just perfect because I'm going to be able to play that without adding Blight and repeat it and just destroy a ton of towns. And it's an easy threshold for me, so destroying cities too. It's going to be nice against Scotland. So Drought is the play. I like that. Then going over to Wildfire, it's going to gain a power 2. Let's see, Guardian Serpents, I could still lean into being a Beast Spirit. That's cool. Let's go. Haunted by Primal Memories is nice as well. Let's see, 2 range from a Sacred Site though, so I can't quite hit this land, unfortunately. But I like that card. Getting another card with Animal, though, is going to be great, because that's going to let me threshold Savage Mob Beast eventually, and then extra 1 damage is going to be worth quite a bit. So I like Weep for What Is Lost. I'd like something with Animal and Earth, though, because I want to be able to hit this transforming Earth space. And I don't have any Earth right now. So Guardian Serpents is going to be my play. And actually, that is not bad anyway. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. So that's my card. I get an element on the spirit as well. So I could use that to get the Earth, but I didn't play 2 plant cards, so I can't replace Blight yet. I wonder if instead of Territorial Strife I had played Asphyxiating Smoke. I would still hit these thresholds, just not the Beast one, but the Beast one's less important for me. So let's change that out, because I'm in fast power, so it's not a big deal. So instead of Territorial Strife, I'm going to play Asphyxiating Smoke and pay for that. That actually works out okay, yeah. So now I have 1 sun, 4 fire, 2 plant. I can use this any element for an earth. So now target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace 1 Badlands with 1... replace 1 Blight with 1 Badlands in one of their lands, and you may do likewise. I'm going to do that twice, so paying an energy each. Want to give a place for that Cascade that I'm eventually going to do to spill over, so definitely going in there. And in here. Oh, and those go back to the card. That's the power of this combination of spirits. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so that's that. Alright, then I have the next level. I don't have the next level, so I can't replace 1 Explorer with 1 Beast anymore because I don't have that animal. So, but that's okay, I didn't really need that one. So coming over to other fast powers, I'm going to do Flame's Fury over on Relentless Gaze of the Sun, so it gets an energy, and get +1 damage with each damage dealing power that I deal this turn. The errata is that repeats don't keep getting additional damage, I think, so when I repeat, if I were to repeat Wither Bodies, Scar Stones, I wouldn't get an extra damage each time. I think that's the ruling on that. But just once is still good. Okay, so... yeah, repeated powers... oh, actually, no, it explicitly says on Flame's Fury, repeated powers keep the +1 boost. So that's good. So unlike the extra 3 damage that you get from one of the Horizon Spirits, Teeth, you don't get that extra... you get to repeat the extra damage, so that's cool. So that makes Wither Bodies, Scar Stones even better, if I repeat that a bunch of times in the slow phase, which I intend to do. So let's go with Blinding Glare. I'm just going to skip a Ravage action here, and that's all I'm doing with that. Unfortunately, not getting the Fear, but I'll save the energy to skip stuff with my other power. Or repeat stuff. Alright, I also have Consider a Harmonious Nature, so this term, when my powers would add Blight, I may instead destroy one of my presence there or elsewhere. And I think that's the only one that I have. Yep, that's that. Yep, don't have the others just yet, so I'm all good. Okay, so going into the next phase, let's go to an event. Accumulated Devastation. On each board during the first successful Ravage action in 1 land, that this invader phase, increase the total damage ravaging invaders deal to each land, but not to Dahan, by the current invader stage. Do this for at most 1 run Ravage action per board. Okay, alright, that's fine. It's not going to change anything. Then Territorial Beasts on each board. Isolate a land with beasts. Isolate a couple lands. 1 fear if invaders are present, so I got 1 fear for that. And then Years of Health and Harmony. On each board with 5 or more Dahan, which is both of them, add 1 Dahan to the land with the most Dahan. Awesome. I can choose, let's see, completely clear that out or deal with this. I think the coast is better, so I'll go there. Alright, that's actually pretty good. I'm wondering, what level am I hitting this of? This is just the first level, so it's doing 4 damage to Dahan. Yeah, I might be okay adding the Blight, so instead of getting this Moon, just getting a Water instead, so I don't destroy Dahan. Because it's pretty easy for me to remove the Blight. So yeah, I'm gonna just slight change this from a Moon to a Water. Alright, not acting on any information that I've gained, just thinking ahead for the turn. So no fear card still. Ravage and Wetlands. So I'll Ravage successfully here. And here. Destroying one of these Tahan, damaging the other. And then the remaining Tahan will fight back and destroy that town. As I shift over, I'm going to add one town to each inland land that matches a Ravage card and is within one of towns or cities. So I'm getting a bunch of towns added, but that's fine. I also missed the escalation last time. How did I do that? So it would have been Port Sprawl outward. It would have been on board C. So it adds 2 towns to the end lands with fewest towns. So let me fix that real quick. That would have been here, and I probably would have done C8 since I was just letting that go anyway. So that was from the escalation last turn, which I forgot. There's a lot of little things with Scotland, and I don't play Scotland 6 too often, so I'll keep that in mind next time. Now we go into the build, so they're going to build in mountains. So we get a coastal city and an inland city here. Down here. Move that. Yeah. Alright. And then we get the explore into jungles with the escalation. So remember that escalation this time. So board C is going to have its Port Sprawl outward. This one's isolated, so no explore there. Lots of lands with towns on this board, so I've got to do there and probably here, because that'll be easy enough for me to deal with. Although actually, fewest towns, so it would be here, which is also fine. Okay, and then we get the explore here. So, jungle, explore. Okay, so looking a little dangerous now. There's a lot of plastic on the board, but I'm going to be able to start doing stuff about it now, which is great. So let's go into the slow phase. I've got Wither Bodies, Scar Stones. I think I'm just going to hit that with... yeah, hit C2 with that so I can clear that out, getting that, well, you know, Sands is not up yet, so it's not as important. So maybe hit C3 with that so I can clear out that city. Because I'll be able to deal with C2 in the future, I think. Okay, so yeah, let's do C3. So I'm going to add a Badlands here. I actually don't need to repeat it, because with Scorching Convergence now, I add an extra damage. So Scorching Convergence, move all of my presence from Origin Land directly to Target Land. 1 damage to towns and cities only. So actually, maybe... how much damage am I doing there? Quite a bit, actually. I'm going to be doing 5 damage, so actually I don't even need the Badlands there. So I'm going to save Wither Bodies, Scar Stones, potentially use that somewhere else. So those are just Scorching Convergence. So let's do 1 damage to towns and cities only. So I'll do the 1 damage here to this city. Then 3 damage to invaders, 3 damage to Dahan, add 1 blight without cascading. I also have the extra damage from Flame's Fury, so I get to do 4 damage there. Adds a blight. But I don't damage the Dahan. I do 4 damage to destroy the city and the town. And that's going to be 2 fear, or 3 fear, and a fear card. First one against Scotland. Got to start pushing those out. Now I've got Wither Bodies, Scar Stones still, so I haven't used that yet. I can use it somewhere more useful and actually get the bonus damage. So I think I'm going to target... I don't have the repeats if I target C7. I could have done this in the other order. So when I had 3 presents here, targeting C7 instead, so I can repeat this. I guess still 2 range away is fine. So let's add a Badlands to C7. Then I'm going to repeat it once to do 1 damage there, plus 1 from Flame's Fury, plus 1 from the Badlands is 3 damage. And then I'll repeat it a second time to do 3 more damage. And wipe that land clean. I think that's alright. Stops the Ravage next turn. We'll see how useful that is, but I think I can deal with the other lands okay. So cleaned up a couple things with Sun so far. Then I go over to Heart of the Wildfire. I forgot to do Firestorm. Wow, I'm just forgetting so much. My mind is on other things, I suppose. So with Firestorm this turn, I would have whacked E2. I'll go ahead and just resolve that right now. So it's 1 damage per fire that I have, per 2 fire that I have, which is 4, so 2 damage there. Not enough to kill a city, actually, so I probably would just do it here. Except that there's no blight there. Huh. Yeah, so mess that up a little bit. So I can do 1 damage to a city, not enough to destroy it. So yeah, I guess I don't really have anything from Firestorm. That's unfortunate, but okay. Alright, so instead I'll just use Asphyxiating Smoke somewhere. Probably a coast. I could do it on E5 so that I don't have to worry about that Ravage. And get the Tahana into E5. Maybe. Alright, I need a good Firestorm next turn, I think, is going to be the key. Yeah, I guess I can do that. I can also stop the coastal city from being built if I hit E3, and that's probably better. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll hit E3. So this will be 1 fear for transforming that town into 2 explorers. And then I'll just push those guys out into C4, which I'll deal with Sun in the future. Okay, so that's my slow power. I think I'm good. So I'm going to discard cards, go back to growth. Alright, let me get my other stack of 3 up. I think going top track is the way to go. Get more energy. Because I'm not going to need more than 2 card plays. I think 2 card plays is kind of the breaking point there, where you really want it. I've got a ton of Sun in my hand, so going up top track I think will be quite good. So let's do that. Get my other stack of 3 here, so I can get ready for that. And I could get a big burst of energy this turn, get up to 9. But there's not really a land that I'm too worried about at the moment. I do need to do something about C4. I'm going to have Scotland. I won't have the escalation, so no port sprawling outward, so that's good. But I'll have a bunch of lands exploring. Coasts are going to be pretty messy. But that's alright, I think. So let's see, all slow powers. So what do I want to do? I don't have to worry about mountains on that board, which is great. So it's really going to be about focusing the Sun's rays. Unbearable Gaze, also pretty good. And Drought is going to be awesome this turn because there's going to be a lot of stuff. I'll be able to use Drought to clear out C3, so that's nice. So yeah, I like Drought. I like probably focus the Sun's rays. Although I won't have Scorching Convergence at the 3rd level just yet, so maybe Unbearable Gaze instead. Let's see. It's a pretty good push. Push from origin land or target land, so I can stack up into a land really well with Unbearable Gaze. Okay, so I think with that in mind, I want to go with... let's see, gaining a power card is going to push off a reclaim. I've got enough energy for some repeats even without that. But I think I will gain a power card. Just a minor is fine. Sticking with a minor strategy here with Sun, which is kind of weird against Scotland. You would think majors, but I feel like I've got enough damage that I don't have to worry about it just yet. A major maybe is good. because I can forget from discard. Yeah, let's do it. I probably won't play the major this turn, but I'll grab it, and I can think about playing it next turn. Unleash a Torrent of the Self-Sown Essence sounds fantastic for this spirit. Vigor, of course, is an amazing card, and it would be absolutely broken this turn. I can threshold it. Manifest Incarnation is also fun. This is a fantastic hand, actually. Jungle Hunger is usually an amazing card, and I'm not considering it. That's how good the rest of this hand is. So let's go ahead and keep that to the side. Manifest Incarnation, as much as I like it, and the absolutely insane amount of fear that you can get, and the fact that I'll be able to threshold it, I think that the other two cards are just better. So I'm going to leave that aside and decide between Unleash a Torrent of the Self-Sown Essence and Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. Vigor of the Breaking Dawn is a amazing power, broken in many ways. I will be able to threshold it this turn. So that's a thing. That's going to clear out a lot of lands. I was thinking about... Man, that's hard to pass up. I've already passed over some other cards because I wanted others more. As much as I like Unleash Torrent of the Self-Sown Essence, and while I think it would be really, really good on the Spirit, it's very thematic for Relentless Gaze. I think I just can't pass up Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. I'm against Scotland 6, so I don't have to hold back on anything. So let's get Vigor. I'll just forget, I guess, Roiling Bog, really, right? No, I'll keep that one, because I'll need the elements for Consider a Harmonious Nature. So I'm going to forget Wither Bodies, Scar Stones from discard. I'll have enough other ways to add Badlands that I'm not too worried about that one. Yeah, I get 3 energy. I'm going to play Vigor, and I think Drought still. I think I'm fine with that. I will destroy one of Heart of the Wildfire's presence for doing Drought, so... Let's see, the only problem is if I'm thresholding Vigor, I won't be able to get the Moon here so that I don't add Blight with Drought, so maybe I'll hold off on that and do it next turn, and instead go with Focus the Sun's Rays. Yeah, I think that's fine. Or Unbearable Gaze. Just stack stuff up. Yeah, let's do that. So Unbearable Gaze is going to be my play. I can possibly repeat Unbearable Gaze, but I'm not really worried about repeat this turn. Next turn it'll be a little bit better. So let's go with that. Now I'm going over to Heart of the Wildfire. The important thing here is that I'm going to be able to hit the first level of Exaltation of the Transforming Flame, so I can get an extra element over on Relentless Gaze. So that's the key. Should be easy, because all I need is all I need to play is 2 fire and 1 plant. So Threatening Flames is getting played for sure. So yeah, I can probably go ahead and avoid energy. I am going to go to the Blighted Island if I place Presence. It's not the end of the world, but maybe I want to avoid that. So I'm going to be removing 2 Blight this turn. Probably only adding 1 back. So if I can hold off a Blighted Island, I have weird luck where I seem to get a lot of Blighted Island events when I flip that Blighted Island card, so I'd rather not flip it in the growth phase even. So I am going to Reclaim. I don't love it, but I think it is the right choice. I get an energy, gain a power card. I'm just going to gain a minor. Looking for something with earth and plant, which I'm not getting. You have a couple with earth. Sap the Strength of Multitudes is good. It's off element, but it's one of the better defend cards. Defend 5 is awesome. So I can use that as insurance just in case I don't think I can hit the damage threshold for E2. So let's take Sap the Strength. Flame the Fires of Life is also pretty good, so maybe I should count my damage here and see if I have enough. So if I go ahead and hit E2 with a Firestorm, if I play Flame's Fury on myself, should be able to do 3 damage there. It's not quite enough, actually. So yeah, I think while I like Inflame the Fires of Life, I think I'm going to go Sap the Strength just so I can have a little bit of an off turn here and just avoid them from cascading into the ocean and placing a bunch of Blight, which I don't want to do. Although, Sap the Strength, if I do that, I won't get the Threshold of Exaltation of the Transforming Flame, and I really want that. So let's hopefully be able to deal with E2 a different way, and I'll take Inflame the Fires of Life, which has Plant and Fire. Great. And the 3 animal threshold is good, because I'm already going for that with a different card. So I'm going to go with, yeah, let's go with Asphyxiating Smoke. I want Flame's Fury for sure, for extra damage. And I don't need a second plant card, because I can get the second plant from Exaltation of the Transforming Flame, so that might be alright. So how much damage can I do? Push Fear. Okay, alright. So maybe I'll go Inflame the Fires of Life. It's not free, unfortunately, but I think it sets up nicely for a future turn. I've got enough of those. Yeah, that's okay, I think. I don't get Earth. Yeah, no, that's fine. I can do that. Okay. So that'll be my play. Inflame the Fires of Life. Alright, and let's see what happens. So going into fast powers, I'm going to go ahead and use Flame's Fury on Heart of the Wildfire, so it gets an energy, and +1 damage with each damage dealing power that it deals this turn. Then let's go into Transforming and Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. So target spirit may forget a power card, so I will forget, probably from discard. Oh man, what do I want to forget? Whirling Bog is kind of really good in this game. Blinding Glare is fantastic though. I think I'm going to forget Whirling Bog. I don't love to do that, but I'm going to forget that and gain a minor. And an element. And the element I'm gaining is Animal. So I've got some good ones here. Purifying Flame is nice. Renewing Boon, pretty good. Add Blights. It's got Plant, and I've got 2 cards that add Plant and Sun, which is good. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Strong and Constant Currents is alright. I have enough ways to remove Blight that I'm not too worried about removing Renewing Boon. Same with adding back Destroyed Presence. So I think I will go with Purifying Flame. Can combo that with stuff to do more damage. So Blight is a resource this game more than it is in most. So I gain my Animal with that. I'm going to forget, I think, Asphyxiating Smoke. It's just a little expensive for what it does. With Wildfire to gain a card. Carapace Land is going to be good. I'm going to get some animals on the board this turn, maybe. Confounding Miss is nice. Light Calls to Lake is okay. I think I like Carapace Land here. Yeah. Going with Carapace Land for the defense and stuff like that. It's easy defense, which will be good. So that's that. Then I'm going to gain an Earth here on this spirit. With that Earth, I hit the threshold for Exaltation of the second level of Exaltation of the Transforming Flames. So target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace one Blight with Badlands in their lands. I'm going to do that on both spirits. let's go with this one is the only one there. And this one. I could do it in E2 instead. Yeah, that's actually what I want to do. So I have to do the damage there first. It's a little weird, but I think that's okay. So leaving that there. So let's do my damage first with Firestorm. So Firestorm in E2. I get to do 2 damage plus 1 because of Flame's Fury, so that's enough to kill a city. And then I'll replace this Blight with a Badlands. And see if I can do something about that. Now Vigor of the Breaking Dawn, I have a threshold, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Let's do 2 damage per Dahan here, which is 9 damage thanks to the Badlands, which destroys 2 cities and a town for 5 fear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's thresholded, so I can push up to 2 Dahan, and lands I push 2 Dahan to. Push Dahan 2, 2 damage per Dahan. So let's go. I think C1, I'm okay with that building. I could clear it out and then not worry about the builds. Or I can go to C4. But I think C4, I will deal with it a different way. So let's go with, yeah, let's just push into C2 and do 2 damage there. So two more of that. Sad I forgot Bird's Cry Warning now. Need more ways to push the Dahan around. Okay. So that's that. Now I go to Consider Harmonious Nature. Don't have any levels of that. So I'm going into the Invader phase, finally. So we got an event. We've got Influx of Settlers on the single board with the most towns and cities. Add 1 town per player. Swip will mean as many different lands as possible. So that's 2. And a single board with the most towns and cities. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here, which is fine. So yeah, let's just stack up in there. And I'm not using Blight this turn, so probably don't want to stack up into C4 just yet. So I'll go C6. That's okay. Sandstalkers on each board add 1 beast. Oh, the other thing, I did have the lowest level of transforming, so I can replace an explorer with a beast in lands where I have presence. That would be the only one, but that's okay. So now I have Sandstalkers, so on each board add 1 beast to the sands with the most invaders. 1 fear if invaders are present there, so just 1 fear. And then Network of Support and Trade. When invaders ravage, if the land has Dahan, defend 1 plus defend 1 per adjacent Dahan. So if I can get a Dahan into E2, that's going to be really good. I'll see if I can do that. So let's leave that there and do my 2 fear cards. Quarantine. Explore does not affect coastal lands. Unfortunately, I don't have the coastal card just yet, but still stage 3 card against Scotland. That is great. And then Dahan Enheartened. So each player may push 1 Dahan from a land with invaders or gather 1 Dahan into a land with invaders. That's perfect because that's going to hit my Network of Support and Trade. So let's gather a Dahan into E2. And I'll have enough defense, I think, for that. Yes, I will. Okay. So that's perfect. That worked out amazingly well. So let's go into this Ravage. So Ravage in Mountains. So this one is defended 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nothing doing. So the Dahan will fight back and destroy that town. And same thing here. This one's defended 5. So yeah, that's going to be enough to defend this. They're doing 4 damage. The Dahan will fight back, and because of that Badlands, they will kill that city. So that's 2 more fear. So that worked out better than I could have expected. So we got that done. Dahan Enheartened is gone. Oh wait, I don't have that yet. So, because that was from the Ravage. Yep. Okay, cool. So that's Ravage on that board. The other board is clear, so I'll shift that over. On inland lands, they will get more towns. Just keep adding towns. And that's fine. Gives me more targets for stuff. Also, I realized I messed up when I destroyed the city here. It should have created a town and an explorer. And where would I have chucked those? It still would have been the 2 fear, so that's fine, because this is with transform rather than consume. So I'm trying to think of where I would have pushed those if I hadn't known that Dahan with defense was coming up, and I would have gone into the sands here. So that was my my push. So not quite as clear as I would have hoped. Still pretty good though. Now they're going to build in jungles. So let's go with a couple builds. There's no city adjacent to this, so they don't build there. They will build a city in C4. They'll build a city over in our town in E3, and a city in E7, which is problematic, but it's okay. And then I don't explore coastal, so neither of my coastal, unfortunately it's wetlands, which it doesn't have the coastal, but neither of my coastal sands are getting explored. So just the inland lands. That's fine. Actually works out okay. C6 is going to be a good drought target. Alright, so that's their explore. Quarantine's good. Now I go to slow powers. So slow powers here. Let's see, I've got coastal explore coming up next, but my coasts are pretty clear, so I'm not too concerned about it. So let's go with unbearable gaze and stack a bunch of shit up somewhere. I am not avoiding adding blight with scorching convergence, so that's the big danger here. I could reclaim next turn and just redo Vigor the Breaking Dawn. I don't want to. Let's see, it's 1 range. Okay. So I've got a couple options here. I'm not going to be able to repeat Unbearable Gaze. That's unfortunate. So I could just stack a ton of stuff up over in C4 and then worry about that next turn. Because I can skip... Well, I can't skip the Ravage. But I could remove the Blight there so that they don't cascade. And then just do a bunch of damage to it next turn. It's probably the way to go. So let's do Unbearable Gaze on this land. So I can push 1... Oh, it's 1 from each. Okay. Yeah, so I can't push all of those towns out from C5. That's probably fine. They're not doing anything in mountains, though. So I could also just stack up in mountains. Got lots of options. Well, let's do it this way. I'm going to go C3 targeting C4 with Scorching Convergence. So I'm moving all of my presence from this land into there. 1 damage to towns and cities only, so I'll do that to the town. Then I have the next level, so I'm going to do 3 damage to invaders, 3 damage to Dahan, add 1 blight without cascading. It's okay. And adding the blight does destroy my presence. That's fine. I'm Sun, so I don't really care about that too much. Then I've got Unbearable Gaze, so I'm going to use that onto E3 and push these guys into this land. Just stack up in there. I get a fear for that. And I think that's all I got. So, slow powers with Heart of the Wildfire. I've got Inflame the Fires of Life. Do I want to do something about E7? I would love to, if I can. I think I'm going to have a lot of defense. I might be able to do something there, so let's try. Can't do both. Okay. So let's go ahead and do 1 Fear and add a Strife token over into E7. And then I have, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage to worry about there. I think I can deal with 9 damage. So that's alright. I don't know if there's a way to stop me from hitting a Bladed Island next turn. But with these 2 spirits, you know, that's kind of expected. I pushed it off as long as I could. So that's that. Slow powers are done. Gonna discard cards. Go back to growth. Don't want to have to reclaim yet with Sun. So let's go ahead and do Sun stuff first. Sun is going to... Got an email I have to check. Alright, I think the energy is going to be good. I'm a little bit poor, and I want to do some repeats here. So let's do that. So I'm going to gain 3 energy. I'm going to gain 9 energy here. I don't know that I really need it. Not yet. If I go for the Sun top, I've got some good thresholds. Don't have a moon, but I can get a moon, so that's okay. Let's go for it. I'll get the energy. So I'll get 6 energy for that. Oh, maybe I've been doing this wrong. It just says gain energy an additional time, so I don't think you double it and then also get it from presence. So I may have messed that up. So I think I'm just going to get 6 energy instead of 9. Hopefully I haven't messed that up too much when I've been playing this spirit. So, still good. Still good. I think I had 1 left, so yeah, I'll have 7. Okay. Move up to 3 presents together. I don't know that I need to. Because I want to stay in C4 so I can get rid of the Badlands there. Or they're gonna cascade anyway, so I don't know that it really matters. I'll probably just stay where I am. I can move at 3 range though, which is nice. So if I go into C8, that might be a little bit better. Well, let's do that. So that's that. I know I'm going to play Drought, and I think I'm going to play Purifying Flame, because there's going to be a bunch of Blade on the board. So that'll be pretty strong. And I'll take my presence from top and go here. I'll lose a presence, but that's totally fine. Alright, over with Heart of the Wildfire. I'm going to go ahead and push us into a Bladed Island, I think. It's going to happen anyway. So let's go with growth 3. And from bottom to get to 3 card plays. I'm going to go in here. Okay, I do 2 damage, so let's do that to a town. Maybe a city. I think I can do it to a city instead. I'll just do it to a town, because I'm going to have enough from Firestorm anyway. So, town damage, which turns it into 2 explorers. Got a fear for that. I'll just push them both back into this land, because that'll be relatively easy to deal with. Actually, no, I'll push them both in here. Because I know that Mountain's not coming up for a little bit. Then, I've got 3 card plays here. I'm going to cascade that, so that'll be a Blight here. And a Blight into this land. Promising Farmlands, that's a good one. So, well, it's an okay one. So 4 Blight per player is quite a lot to work with. The only risk that I'm really taking is the event cards. I'm probably going to get a bunch of Blighted Island events, and those could be nasty. But otherwise, I think it's okay. So immediately on each board, add 1 town and city to an inland land with no towns or cities. Which on this board has to be this one. It's not ideal, but I can work with it. And there is no inland land on that board with no towns and cities, so that doesn't happen. So that's that. Then card plays. So I have 3 card plays, 1 energy, but I do get 4 energy, so that's not too shabby. Mostly getting it for choice events and stuff, and for next turn. And I think I don't need Guardian Serpents just yet, so I could do that over on C4 just to add some defense there. Could potentially be pretty good. Maybe save that land. I'll give it a shot. Let's do Guardian Serpents. 1 energy. Carapace land. And I think Savage Maw Beasts, because I'm going to get a lot of damage out of that. So I won't have the extra. I need 1 more fire. Okay. I guess Territorial Strife instead of Savage Maw Beasts. Or Threatening Flames. Yeah, I wanted to start doing more damage, but I've got to do it that way instead. Should be okay. Oh no, I need to replace a different card for fire. Oof. Messing this game up a lot. So I need a 4th fire for sure. Do I want to do it with Territorial Strife or Savage Maw Beasts? I think Territorial Strife so I can do some damage. And I won't use Guardian Serpents. Okay. Save those. How much defense is this going to be? Probably not enough. I think it'll be okay. So I can use this for an extra earth, so it should be fine. Okay, yep, I'm good. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go into fast powers. So I'm going to use Exaltation of the Transforming Flame over onto Sun. So target spirit may forget a power card and gain a power card and 1 element. Well, let's just forget Unbearable Gaze from discard. Gain a minor. So I've got Call the Ferocity is cool. Gift of Power, Song of Sanctity, and Rain of Blood. I think I like Call the Ferocity, because that gives me another way to gather Dahan to set up for Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. It's got good elements as well. The element I'm getting this turn is going to be Moon. Yeah, Moon will be good. So I don't add Blight. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So Moon is good. I think I'm gonna stick with that. I'll probably let C4 go, but I think that's okay. Alright. So let's remove the Blight. I'm not gonna be able to remove both. Okay, cool. Cool. Power card over onto Heart of the Wildfire. I'm going to forget Inflame the Fires of Life from discard to gain a power card in hand. Hazard Spread's very nice. Terror Turns to Madness, Animated Rack Root. I think I like Hazard Spread across the island. That'll let me get more Badlands, more Beasts out. It's just a very good card. I get an any element as well, so I'll get an Earth. And then I also have the 3rd level, so target spirit may replace one explorer with one beast in one of their lands, and you may do likewise. Let's just get more beasts in here. And here. Okay. Cool. And then I may pay 1 energy to remove the Badlands inlands as well. So let's do that. Turn them in the wrong order, but that's okay. So I'm going to remove this one. And probably this one still. Well, this one's interesting. So let's do that instead. Okay. Yeah, that's fine, because then I'll be able to remove that next turn. Okay. So that's that. So that's all Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. Then Threatening Flames and Firestorm. So Firestorm, I do have 2 damage from that. So I'm going to go ahead and use that over into E6. I could use it in E7. Maybe I didn't need Carapace Land. Do I even need that defense? Yeah, I do need it. So Carapace Land is going to go into E7. That's just spam. So Carapace Land in E7, going to defend that 6, because I have the threshold. Then Firestorm, I'm going to do over an E6. So I can do 2 damage with the Badlands, makes it 3. So I'll turn that city into a town and an explorer. And then push them. I don't really want to push them into the coast, so I think I'll push them into E4, and that'll probably be a little easier to deal with. It's already got the Badlands there. Then I'm going to do Threatening Flame, so it's 2 fear. And push 1 explorer or town per terror level from target lands to adjacent lands without your presence. So that's going to be over into... I think I'll just stick with doing it over there. And figure out what to do about that land later. Okay, so that's that. I think I'm all set. So I've got Consider Harmonious Nature as well. So I've got the 1st and 3rd level, so I can choose another spirit and have them add presence back to my lands, but don't really have any destroyed presence yet. And then when my powers would add blight, I can destroy presence instead. So that's going to be the big thing. Okay, so fast powers are done, finally. Let's go into the invader phase with an event. I've got Focused Farming. I don't. I have Essence Dispersed. Like I said, every time I flip the Blighted Island card, I get a bunch of Blighted Island events. So each spirit chooses independently to either forget 1 power card, or lose 2 energy and destroy 1 presence. In the land where you destroyed presence, return 1 blight to the box. Okay, cool. So I think I'll do that with Relentless Gaze of the Sun. I'll lose some presence here, but that's fine, right? Well, then I won't be able to Purifying Flame that land. So, yeah, Sun, I'll probably just forget a card. I think I'll just forget Blinding Glare from discard. It's a very, very good card, but it's okay to forget that, I think. And then with Heart of the Wildfire, I will destroy a presence. No, maybe... Let's see, I don't really need repeats this turn, so... And I can add destroyed presence back really easily. So Sun, no, I'm gonna keep that card. card's going to be worth more than presence for sure. So I'm keeping Blinding Glare. I will lose 2 energy. And I'll just destroy one of my presents there. Don't return a Blight, but that's okay. I want an extra Blight here so I can do more damage with Purifying Flame. It's kind of the goal here. Then with Heart of the Wildfire, I've only got 1 card in discard. Probably want to forget that. I could forget Carapace Land from play because I don't have... yeah, let's do that. I'm just going to forget Carapace Land from play. Actually, no. I do have enough energy, so let's do that. I'm going to pay 2 energy and destroy presence. Somewhere valuable. Let's just do it here. And then return this Blight to the box. Okay, that's going to be helpful. Now Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 Explorers among lands with beasts. Awesome, that's great. Here, not as valuable. I think I'll just destroy this and this. And Offerings of Story and Season. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among its lands. This is a long game. Scotland 6 takes a while. Sorry, guys. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among its lands may gain energy and reclaim 1 card. Don't think either spirit does. No. So, nothing with that. Alright, 2 fear cards. Still Terra level 1, because Scotland takes a while to eat through all these fear cards, but I'm getting there. So, Daunted by the Dahan. 1 fear within, per board with both Invaders and Dahan. So, 2 fear. Invaders do -6 damage to Dahan during Ravage. Each player may push 1 explorer into a land with more explorers or more cities or towns that it came from. Yeah, I don't know how helpful that is. I guess it might make... No, I don't really care. So I'm just gonna leave that. I guess I can push one of these into this land because it's doing 6 damage. And I'll do one of these into here. I can't, because that doesn't have more cities or towns than it came from. Yeah, that's it. So, Seek Safety, not too helpful. Ravage in Jungles. So C1 is empty. C4 is going to Cascade. I'll just have it Cascade over into C7, because I don't have to worry about that land for a little while. One of my presents gets destroyed, which is fine. Now I have 3 destroyed presents to add back. Yeah, that's good. This one, okay, will just die. Here, it's defended 6, they're doing 7 damage, so not enough. As that shifts over, I'm going to add a town to the inland land matching the Ravage card, so that'll be here and here. And then we've got Build in Sands and Wetlands. So this one would build because there's an adjacent city, so I'll just stop that with this. Wetlands, all gonna build. It's fine. Be able to clear out a lot of stuff. I think I'm gonna be in a reclaim with Sun, so I can stop some of those ravages. Okay. Over on this board, bunch of cities. And then we explore coastal. So, a bunch of towns going on the coasts. Well, let's put the towns in the Badland lands. Explore over in C1. Same kind of thing here. Just stack up there. And go there. Although, If I stack up there, it might be a little more difficult to deal with, so I might have to go into that land this turn. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's going to be my expiration. Slow powers. I've got Territorial Strife, so I can do 3 damage to towns and cities. I'm going to do that on this land, so it becomes 4 damage because that's got a Badlands. Actually, I could do it here too. That might be even better. I'm not sure. No, I'll do it here. So 2 damage, destroy both those towns. So that's 2 fear. They become 4 explorers instead. And those 4 explorers are going to run away somewhere. I think I'll push them all into C4. Alright, so that was with Territorial Strife. Got my 2 fear for that. Then I've got no more slow powers with Heart of the Wildfire. So going to slow powers with Relentless Gaze of the Sun. Got a couple. I've got the Threshold on Drought. So I'm going to go ahead and use that somewhere good. First up, let's use Purifying Flame. So I'm going to do 3 damage in this land and destroy that city. Gets me another fear card, and I'm 1 fear card away from Terror level 2. Which would be great to hit. Now I'm going to use Drought. I could completely clear out C6. I think that's probably the way to go. So let's do that. So C6. So that's going to be 5 fear for destroying all of those. And instead of adding a blight, I'm going to destroy one of my presents. I'll just do that from here. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to deal with both those lands eventually. Let's do it from here. Now I have Scorching Convergence, so 1 range from a Sacred Site. I'm going to move all of my presents into this land. 1 damage to towns and cities only, then 3 damage to invaders, and I can add a blight without cascading, but I'm going to destroy my presents instead for that. So it becomes 5 damage thanks to the Badlands. So I'll kill a town and city for another fear card. And I do have the next level actually, so 3 more fear if this power destroyed any invaders. That's awesome. Terror level 2. So starting to get a lot from this spirit now. Alright, cool. Cool. Let's see, I didn't have that. Destroy presence. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And I have to destroy presence for doing that. So let's just do that. I can let that blight and come back to it later. Okay, so I've got not a lot of presence on the board, but I'm going to be adding a bunch back. Okay, so I think those are all my slow powers. I'm going to discard cards and then go back to growth. Got a good amount of blight on the blight card, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Yeah, so we'll see. Scotland games are a slog, at least for me, against Scotland 6, so it's taken a while, but I'm starting to get there, I think. Got a lot of damage potential coming out. So I want to reclaim my cards and add 3 destroyed presents back onto the board. Together. Let's see, Coastal is coming up, and we've got sands and wetlands that are ravaging. I'm just going to let this land go. Don't care about it. My sands, a little dangerous, but not too bad. But I do have Vigor of the Breaking Dawn, which I can threshold pretty easily. So I'll probably just go in here. I think that's good. And then add a presence. I want to go for the 4 and the any. So let's go there. I'm going to get 4 energy. And yeah, I think probably just Vigor and clear out the coasts and some of the inlands. So yeah, let's do that. So Vigor, the Breaking Dawn, and Blinding Glare. I won't have 5 Sun just yet, but that's fine. Okay, 3 energy. I could do the energy to repeat Vigor if I give an energy over to Relentless Gaze, so I might do that. It's pretty silly, but it's going to clear out a lot of this board, so I think that's probably the way to go. So that's good. With Wildfire, I still need very much to hit Transforming. I won't be able to give an energy if I add a Presence. I don't need to add a Presence, really. I think I'm pretty good without that. Especially since I've got 3 card plays, so I'm in good shape. Guardian Serpents will actually deal with C5, so I might not even need to play Blinding Glare if I do Guardian Serpents. If I avoid reclaiming, that is. So let's see. I'm not really sure. I could add a Presence. I won't be able to repeat Vigor if I don't give an energy over to Relentless Gaze. It's probably fine. So what's happening here? I'm gonna deal with this land, this land, this land. I could probably let go for this turn, but I don't want to keep letting it go. So if I can get in there and do a bunch of damage to it, that's probably good. Problem is, dealing with all of those lands is going to be tough. So I might have to help out with Vigor over on that board. So repeating Vigor maybe going to be what I need to do. And I think that's okay. So I'm going to reclaim again with Heart of the Wildfire. I gain a power card and 1 energy. Let's go Minor again. I've got Reaching Grasp is actually not bad. Spur on with Words of Fire. There we go. Another energy. Do I have any free cards? Yeah, I do. I have 2. So Spur on with Words of Fire is pretty good. Dire Metamorphosis, I wish I had on Relentless Gaze of the Sun instead. That'd be way better. Scour the Land. I think I like Spur on with Words of Fire here. Still get 0 energy. That's okay. Let's go with Spur on with Words of Fire. That's 1. I'd love to go with Flame's Fury. That's going to help out a lot. And 1 more card play. What elements am I looking at? Not a lot of great ones. I'm going to have a Cascade into this land, which is fine, because I'll be able to remove that plate. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that repeating Vigor is even that helpful, because I have to target the same land. So yeah, that might not be good. That's okay though. I'll figure something out. So Spur on with Words of Fire, yeah, that's good, that's good. Carapace land, I could stop E1 from blading, which is probably good, because I don't want to have that cascade into the ocean, and then Coastal Lands is coming up next. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good set of cards, I think. I'll get 2 energy over on Sun. It can play another card. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, awesome. So I'm going into fast powers. Let's go with Spur on with Words of Fire. I'll save that, actually. Let's go with Transforming first. So Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. So I'm going to target Relentless Gaze of the Sun, so it can forget a power card, and then gain 1. I think I'll just forget. Let's see, Call to Ferocity is going to be good. I can probably forget, let's see, Purifying Flame I might play this turn. Drought is going to be quite good. So I'll probably forget Focus the Sun's Rays. I'm forgetting all my unique powers. I think that's fine. I've been getting good power cards from the draws, so that's okay. I'm going to gain another minor, and the element's the important thing. So, with this, nothing really fantastic. Domestic animals go berserk is good defense, which I can use this turn. That lets me use Blinding Glare just for the fear. Okay. But it doesn't have a sun, so... but it does have a moon. Okay, interesting choices here. I think I do like Domesticated Animals Go Berserk. Let's go with that land. That one, I should say. Alright, I get an element. For the element, I'm going to choose Animal. I've still got my element for my any space as well, so that's going to be useful. I could do that with a moon, but I'll decide that in a second, because I could also use it for a sun to get a 5th sun for Blinding Glare. Depends on what extra card I play. Spur on with Words of Fire. It's going to give an extra energy over to Relentless Gaze, and it can play another card. Let's see, Vigor is going to clear out C5, so yeah, I don't have to worry about that. So the defense, not super useful, so maybe Purifying Flame. Just keep hammering this land, especially since I've got an extra damage coming from Flame's Fury. I like that. It's going to give me my plant, so that's good. So yeah, I'll use this any space for a moon. Flame's Fury is going to give an extra energy as well, and each damage dealing power that I use with Relentless Gaze is going to do an additional damage. That's really good. It's going to clear out a lot of that. Yeah, that's cool. So those are my fast powers. I've got Carapace Land. Let's see, I'm still doing Exaltation of the Transforming Flame, I guess. So target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace 1 light with Badlands, and you may do likewise, which I will do. So that's 2 energy. Gotta do it here. And I think I'll do it here. So that land I'm gonna deal with. Okay. Alright, so that's cool. So that's transforming, and then I have the highest level as well, so I can replace 1 Explorer in a land with a Beast instead. I would love to start getting some Beast powers. Let's do this guy. And this one. It's still going to be good for beer cards and stuff. Alright, so finally finished Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. Now I can go on to, let's see, Carapace Land, I guess. So I'm going to target this land. I have the extra range because I'm targeting a land with beasts. Oh, I still need to gain a power card to get my extra element. Well, my extra element is going to be an Earth. So I hit the threshold on Carapace Land. I'll just forget... You know, Guardian Serpents hasn't done much for me, so I'll just forget that. Gain a minor. Teeming Rivers, that's a good one, actually. It's got good elements. Promises Protection I do like. Desiccating Winds. Pact to the Joint Hunt, okay. Some good cards here. I think maybe Desiccating Winds and just start leading into damage, because I'm going to have a bunch of Badlands out. Let's take that. Alright, some more fast powers. Cool. So Carapace Land, now I have the threshold 4. I'm going to use over on E1, so that's defended 6. They're doing 6 damage, so that's fine. Firestorm. I'm not sure where I want to use that yet. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and use Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. So I can repeat that. The problem is the repeat. I have to keep targeting the same land. So where do I want to do it? So yeah, there's not a land that just has a huge stack of Dahan, so it's not as good if I repeat that. I probably won't. Instead, let's do Vigor the Breaking Dawn onto C2. So I do 2 damage, destroy that town. And then push those 2 Dahan into C5, which will do 5 damage thanks to the Badlands. Clear that land out. Get me 2 fear. Blinding Glare. I have 5 sun, so I have the threshold, so I don't have to use that to skip a Ravage action. So instead, I'm just going to use it for fear. I'll use it once in this land. Do 3 fear. So 1, 2, 3. And I could just push for another fear card. I think maybe that's worth it. So yeah, I'll spend 3 energy so I can repeat that twice and just get 6 more fear, which gets me another fear card. I think that's probably worth it to get a 4th fear card before this turn. Okay, yeah, that seems good to me. So I think I'm all set with my fast powers, except for Firestorm. So with Firestorm, I can do 2 damage per fire that I have, which is 4, so it's 2 damage per. So let's go ahead and do that in this land. Hopefully I get a defense thing there. So that becomes 3 with the Badlands. Destroys that city. I can push those guys out, and I'll push them into here. I get 2 fear for that. Maybe I want a second Badlands in this land just so this doesn't cascade. Yeah, so instead of adding the Badlands in here, I'm going to have it go in here. Just in case I don't get a fear card that deals with that. So hedging my bets a little bit. Alright, so those are all my fast powers. Going to go to Far Off Wars Touch the Island. So invaders from a different distant land launch an assault upon the island, while the invaders here rally together in a wave of nationalism. Defending the island with them might come at too high a price. I add a fear card to the top of the fear deck. On each board in the land with the most towns and cities, I can encourage the destruction, or I can blunt the offensive. So most towns and cities is over in C8. If I do that, it's going to cascade and add to Blight. So it'll add quite a bit of Blight over in C8 if I let that happen. But it's also a lot of fear. I think it's probably worth it. I have Blight as a resource. I have a lot of Blight on the card, and I've got stuff that cleans it up. So yeah, let's do it. I've got a bunch of fear cards coming. So on this land, at least, I'm going to encourage the destruction. I do 4 fear. Then destroy half of the towns and half of the cities, rounding up. So that'll be these guys, which is 4 more fear. And get that fear card that I just added. Add 2 Blight without cascading. So potentially risky, but you know, I think it's okay. Then, over on this board, I think it's this land. Yep. And again, it might be worth it. They're not ravaging there this turn, so yeah, I would lose that presence. That's the bad part. Because having that presence there is pretty good. So I think on this board I'm going to destroy 1 town without gaining fear. So I'll do that in this coastal land. So that they don't build there. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Ecosystem damage on each board. Add 1 Advance to a land with Blight. Sure, that's good. Let's go in here. It's getting to be a very crowded land. It's the smallest land on the board too, I think. So instead, let's see, over here, I'll definitely add that into this land. And then return to old pillars. On each board, gather 1 or 2 Dahan into a land with Dahan setup symbols. So I think I can't save this Dahan. No adjacent land with Dahan setup symbols. So that guy will die. That's fine. I can get 2 of these over here, where they're a little bit more useful. And yeah, let's set up for a better vigor and get a big stack of Dahan over here. Hopefully I can push stuff into c5. Okay. So I think I've got 5 fear cards, all tier level 2. First up, Depart the Dangerous Land. So each player removes 1 explorer or town from a land with beasts, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. Great, that's perfect there. Here, I'll just go with this one. Actually, that's coming up soon, so I'll do this one. Panicked by Wild Beasts, each player adds 1 strife in a land with or adjacent to beasts. And invaders skip their normal explorer and builds in lands with beasts. Land with or adjacent. Well, potentially, this one's adjacent. I'll see. If I have 1 more thing that adds strife there, it can save land E8 from cascading. So let's try that. Then Unrest. Each player adds 1 strife to a town. Yeah, that'll do it. That's perfect. And over here, 1 strife to this town. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 health per strife to a minimum of 1. And I get to do it over here too. So let's do it in this land, because that'll let me destroy even more things. Not worried about C8 cascading, am I? I mean, I can maybe stop it. Let's go for it. I'll do it there. Flee the Pestilent Land. Each player removes up to 3 health worth of invaders from a land with disease, or 1 explorer from an inland land. Awesome. So I can stop that cascade. And this one. Yeah. So removing explorers from inland lands. Nerves Fray. Each player adds 2 strife in a single land, not matching a Ravage card. Okay, yeah. So let's get some strife in here, because the invaders do have lower health per strife this turn, so I'm going to be able to do quite a bit of damage into this land and probably clear it out. Yeah, let's see. I think maybe keep stacking up in there. Yeah, I'll do that. It's a very, very crowded land. Alright, so that was Nerves Fray. Alright, so now let's go into the Ravage. They're going to Ravage in sands and wetlands. So nothing here, or here. Here they'll just lose that strife. No damage to the land. Well, 1 damage, so no blight. Here, 1 damage to the land, so no cascade there. This one's defended, so nothing happens here. Nothing there. And this one, I've got a strife under all the towns and cities, so this Dahan will take 1 damage from the Explorer. But then he'll fight back and kill one of those towns. That's a fear. Okay. As this shifts over, I'm going to add towns to each inland land that matches a Ravage card and is within 1 range of a town or city. So it's going to be quite a bit. So let's go there, there, there. Scotland 6, just relentless. They just keep adding more towns. There, there, and there. Alright, and then we explore sands with the escalation. So Let's get my last stage 2 explorer here. Coasts is going to be towns. I don't know, these guys are all on this land. 3 times in a row sands here. It's a little dangerous. Oh, they should have built here as well. It was building coastal, so they would have built here. So with the explorer, there'll be a second town there. They would have built a city here as well. This board wouldn't have gotten anything because they were all empty and not adjacent to cities. Then the escalation happens. Definitely the most coastal buildings on this land, so we'll add 2 towns over to board E into the land with the fewest towns. So this one's empty, so that one gets one. I think I'll go in here. It's got 2 bad lands, so could do a lot of damage there. Alright, so escalation's done, exploration's done. So I think I'm ready for slow powers, finally. So slow powers here. Let's go over to Relentless Gaze, because it's the only one that has slow powers. I'm going to use Purifying Flame on this land. So it's 1 damage per blight, which is 2, plus 2 damage for the Badlands, so it's going to be 4 damage. All of these towns have -1 health, so the 4 damage will kill all 3 towns. It's 3 fear. And I can kill one of these explorers as well. Pretty good use of Purifying Flame. So I don't have to use repeats on that. Let's go ahead and use Scorch and Convergence somewhere. See, Coast is coming up next. So yeah, if I can clear the coast, that'd be great. I mean, I've got the damage. I don't love the fact that I've only got 1 range is a little annoying, but I think it's fine. So let's go, yeah, let's just go in there. Just so I don't have to worry about this land. Wipe that out. And destroy one of my presents instead of adding blight. That's that. So I think I'm done with all my slow powers. I do have the 3rd thresholds here, so I get an additional 3 fear for destroying invaders. So I'm getting closer and closer to Terror level 3, which is probably going to be my win condition. It's hard to destroy all of the towns against Scotland because they just keep adding them with the escalation and with Scotland 6. But cities are in reach, I think. So those are all my slow powers. I'm going to discard cards and go back to growth. I don't want to have to reclaim on Sun. I want to be able to move my presence, I think. So let's go with gaining energy and additional time, probably. Yeah, my coasts are clear. I can help out on board E, potentially. So yeah, let's move my presence up to 3 range. Gain energy and additional time, so I'm going to get 8 energy this turn. I'm going to move these 3 presents over. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I'll move them over into one of these 2 lands. I think probably E1 is the more dangerous one. I mean, I can defend 5 in E2. I can defend in either of them, actually. With domesticated animals go berserk. So it's really about what Heart of the Wildfire can do. I think I'm going to go in here, so I can let the Dahan fight back and kill that city. Potentially. Oh, the other thing, I did have consider a Harmonious Nature last turn, I think. So I could have had Wildfire add a presence into one of my lands. It would have added a blight to do so, though, so I don't think I want to do that. So I'll leave that be. So let's go with Wildfire. I'll add a presence. I think I want to go bottom. Because 3 card plays is going to be pretty good, actually. third in there. Okay. Onto Wildfire. Excuse me, guys. So Wildfire, I think I'm going to add presence probably into E1 and see if I can deal with that. Got hazard spread, so I can add Badlands in there. I'm gonna be able to push some stuff out. So yeah, I think I can probably deal with it. So let's see, I'll have a third fire. So I can probably get I'll have 3 fire cards out, so I can do 3 damage there. Yeah, that's probably okay. So let's go with adding a presence. I think I don't even need the energy, so I can gain a power card potentially. But I like the energy for choice events and stuff. I think it's pretty good. So if I ever get a choice event that costs energy. So let's go with the energy gain. I can gain a power card next turn. I'm going to gain from bottom. Go into E1. I gain 5 energy. I do 3 damage there, so that will add a blight. And destroy the city. Instead of destroying it, I transform it into a town and an explorer, which I'll keep stacking up over into E7. Got my 2 fear for that. And then I think I like hazard spread. Savage Mobby, so I won't get the extra damage from, so probably Territorial Strife. And Desiccating Winds. Do I need the extra plant? I will, but I can get it from transforming, so that's fine. So yeah, I think that's my play. Should have good thresholds. Alright, I'm going to finish this turn out and then probably take a little break if I don't win, which I probably won't, because Scotland's games are long and it's taxed my brain. I know I'm at 2 hours now. Hopefully with the editing it'll be a little less. So those are my card plays with Heart of the Wildfire. And then with yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yep, that'll be good because I can do that over in E6. Okay, awesome. So that's good. With Relentless Gaze of the Sun, I've got 2 card plays still. I think I want Domesticated Animals go Berserk. And then probably Drought is the way to go. I'll be able to do that somewhere useful, I think. And yeah, that should be good. I'll pay 1 energy for each of those. Yeah, because when I have Scorching Convergence, yeah, I think this turn is going to go quite well. So those are my 2 card plays. With the Any Element, I think I'm going to go with... I've already got Moon. I could Threshold Domesticated Animals go Berserk, which seems fun. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So let's do Wildfire first. I'll do Exaltation of the Transforming Flame again. So target spirit may forget a power card and gain an element. I think I'll forget Purifying Flame on Relentless Gaze of the Sun. And I think I'll gain another major. So Land Thrashes and Furious Pain is a good card. Savage Transformation is not going to be the play. Sleep and Never Waken is an amazing card, but I don't think that it's fantastic this game. I really don't love many of these, except the Land Thrashes and Furious Pain. And there's not going to be much blight on the board, but I can hit C8 with that, so that's pretty good. So let's take that one. I've got to forget another card, so I'll forget Blinding Glare from discard. Blinding Glare is such easy, yeah, it's pretty pretty easy fear. So I'm probably going to forget domesticated animals go berserk. So let's change the order of things. Well, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't know the cards that were coming up. So yeah, can't change that now. So maybe I will forget Blinding Glare so I can keep Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. Yeah, let's do that. I hate to forget that card. It can give you so much fear, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yep, that's good. I get an element, so I think the element that I want this turn is Moon. No. The element that I want this turn is Air, because I don't have enough air. And with my any element, I think I'll go with water, just in case I end up doing damage to Dahan. So I've got an air and a water. Okay, so that's that. Then I get to do that same thing over onto Heart of the Wildfire. So let's forget Carapace Land. I don't think I'm going to need the defense much in the future. Possibly a mistake, but we'll see. And I'll just gain a minor. Because I can go to 4 card plays next turn, so I think that's fine. Yeah. So gaining a minor, I like Blood Draws Predators, especially because I've got a lot of beasts on the board. So yeah, that's going to be my play. So Blood Draws Predators, it's going to add a beast and then do 1 damage per beast. With all the beasts and badlands that are on the board, that's going to do a ton of damage, so that's great. I'm going to gain a plant. Then I have the 2nd level now, so target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace 1 blight with a badlands, and you may do likewise, which I will do. Let's just do it that way. So I get a couple more badlands out. Actually, I don't have any lands with badlands in. Yeah, I don't have lands with badlands, so I don't get to do that with Relentless Gaze of the Sun. But I will do it with Heart of the Wildfire. So replace this one. Such a cool ability. Then I have the 3rd level as well, so target spirit may replace 1 explorer in one of their lands with a beast. Let's go here. Yeah, we'll go. Now I've got lots of options, actually. No options over on Relentless Gaze. Let's do it here. So this one's defended. Well, I'm going to need to clear this one out, so let's do that. Okay, so that was all Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. Now I'm going to go ahead and do Firestorm. First, actually, Hazard Spread across the island. Man, maybe I do want to do that somewhere else. Just because I was doing a lot of damage in E1 anyway, but they're going to build again. Yeah, that's the right call. Yeah, so Hazard Spread. I'm going to have a Badland show up in E1. I have 2 range, so I can hit that. Then I'm going to do Firestorm here, so it's going to do 3 damage plus 1 for the Badlands. Destroy both of those cities, but it's actually going to transform them into 4 Explorers. Which I will continue to stack up into E7. This is when I need those, like, 3 Explorer cardboard cutouts that they have for Horizons. Alright, so that was Hazard Spread, Firestorm. I can split the damage in lands where I have stuff, but I'm not going to. Because I wanted to do all 4 damage right here. Although actually, do I have 3 plant? No, I only have 2, so I can't do 1 damage per fire. So that's still fine. Okay, so that's that. Domesticated Animals Go Berserk is going to get me 1 fear and defend 5 into E2. And I could just repeat it. Let's see, I've got Consider a Harmonious Nature, I've got the first and second level. So when my powers would add Blight, I can instead destroy Presence, and my powers don't damage or destroy Dahan. So I've got both of those. I could repeat it just to get 1 fear and defend 10. Why not? I'm going to pay 2 energy to repeat Domesticated Animals Go Berserk, so I can get 1 more fear because it's an extra fear card. I think that's pretty strong. Yeah, I think I'm done with my fast powers, so let's go to the Invader phase. They're going to do an event. Let's see, I always get the Blighted Island cards when I have a Blighted Island. New cash crops take hold. Invaders immediately ravage in 1 terrain type not showing under any invader action. Spirit Prince may prevent this on any and all boards by destroying 2 presents from each board to be protected. It's obnoxious, but not the end of the world. Let's see. Yeah, there's too much stuff on the board. I can't really afford to let them ravage from that, so I'm going to destroy presents. Let's destroy 2 presents here. And it's way easier for me to get my presents back as Relentless Gaze, so I think I will destroy 2 of its presents, but I do need a Sacred Site, so that's obnoxious. So I can probably just do 1, and I'll do this guy too. Alright, Beast Provoked. On each board, add 1 beast to a land without Blight that has towns. Sure. Without Blight, okay. There. Uncanny Defense. During Ravage in every land, defend 1 per Dahan land. Great. That actually works out nicely. Alright, 2 fear cards. Terror level 2. Getting close to 3. Panic. Each player adds 1 strife and a land with Beast's Disease or Dahan. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 damage per strife to a minimum of 1. That's going to let me do a lot of damage into this land, but I'm going to be probably repeating Drought there, so I don't need to worry about it too much. So instead, I think I'll probably put both into this land. I'm not doing damage, I'm doing destruction. Well, I do have Scorching Convergence, but I think I'm fine. So yeah, let's put both of them in here. Okay. Each player adds 1 strife and a land. Oh, well, I just did that. Mimic the Dahan. So each player replaces 1 explorer or town with 1 Dahan in a land with 2 or more Dahan. That's great. Let's go. Let's see, Building Sands. I can't do it over in C6. That's fine. C5. Yeah, I've got limited choices here, so I guess I'll do it there and there. All right. So not bad. Ravage and Coastal. This coast is clear. This one's defended 1 thanks to the event. So they will do 1 damage to the Dahan. That Dahan will fight back. Destroy that town. Right here, this one's defended 10. Dahan will fight back, and because of the Badlands, they can do 3 damage to destroy that city. This one's empty. There are no inland coastal lands, so I don't hit the Scotland 6 effect. Then build in sands. So I'll get a city up here. And city here. Alright, now I'm going to stage 2. Sands and mountains. Alright, so that is doable. And then the inlands. Okay, cool. So that was the Explorer. Now I go to Slow Powers. So I'm going to use Scorching Convergence onto this land. So I move all my presence from that origin land directly to target land. And then 1 damage to towns and cities only. There are none there. Then I'm going to do 3 damage to invaders. I don't have... I'm skipping damage to Dahan, so the Dahan are fine. So 3 damage to the invaders here. I guess I could have done this land instead, because that's getting a city, or getting a town. Yeah, let's do this land instead. So I'll just destroy that town. I'm going to destroy one of my presents to prevent it from cascading. I'm going to have to reclaim, but that's fine. Or prevent it from adding a blight. And I get 3 fear because that destroyed an invader. So I'm getting closer and closer to Terra level 3. Alright, so next up, I'm going to do Drought onto this land. So destroy 3 towns. And a city, because I have a threshold. And I'm just going to destroy this presence rather than adding a blight. So that's going to be 3, 5 fear. Alright, I don't have to repeat it. That's fine. If I repeat it, I'll cascade, and it's only destroying 1 city with the repeat, so not really worth it. Then I've got Territorial Strife, so I'm going to use that into E6 to do 4 damage there. So we'll kill the 2 explorers, get me 1 fear, and replace that town with 2 explorers, which I'll just keep pushing into this land. City could be an issue, but that's fine. And then Desiccating Winds. I can't kill that city. Shoot. But I can use Desiccating Winds maybe somewhere else. Where do I want to do that? Let's do that into E3, or E2, rather. So Desiccating Winds here, so it's 1 damage. Which kills a town, which just adds explorers. I'll just keep stacking them up here. And yeah, that's fine, and it adds an additional Badlands. Alright, so Desiccating Winds, Territorial Strife, both taken care of. Let's discard cards and go back to growth. Okay. I think I'm in good shape. So, growth options here. Let's see, discard all of these things. I'm going to work on a reclaim. Actually, let me see. I was going to take a break, so I will be right back. Alright, everybody, I'm back from a short break wearing a different Star Wars shirt. Oh, I guess it just looks black on the stream, so you can't really tell. And I'm ready to try to finish this game out. So I was in the middle of changing turns, so let me finish that up on Relentless Gaze of the Sun. And my goal here, if I can destroy all the remaining cities, I would win, so that's one thing that I would like to try to do, if I can, possibly. It might be a little bit challenging, so I'll do what I can to do that, and if I can't, then yeah, we'll see where we go from there. I'm down to 1 presence with Relentless Gaze of the Sun, so I'm definitely reclaiming, so I can add 3 back onto the board. Distance of 1 from where I have presence, so let's start. Let's see, what's the range on Vigor? Vigor is 2 range, so that's fine. So I'll start moving towards the center of the map a little bit. I guess I can go here. And yeah, that should be good. Alright, I get to add a presence as well after reclaiming. I think I'm good to go bottom. I've got a bunch of cheap cards, really. I do have some majors, so I can clean up a lot of this board right now. So I'll have 8 energy if I go bottom track. Land Thrashes, I probably won't be able to threshold that and Vigor, but I can try it and see what I get. So yeah, let's go for bottom track. Just add that here. And I think if I go with, let's see, let me get my 4 energy. I think I want to go with Vigor. I want to go with the Land Thrashes and Furious Pain. And let's see, I need Earth and Moon. I think if I go Domesticated Animals, go Berserk, I'm going to be, I just play it for elements, I'm going to be okay to threshold both Vigor and Land Thrashes. So it'll cost all my energy, so I'm not going to have any repeats this turn. But if I use my any for a Moon, I won't quite get there. I would need 2 extra elements. So yeah, I can't threshold Land Thrashes and Furious Pain, but I think that's okay. So maybe I'll save it for next turn. Just go Drought and Call the Ferocity instead. Yeah, I mean, that'll let me take care of C8, but it's not up, so I don't really have to worry about that. Same with these lands, so yeah, let's save that. I'll save those for next turn, potentially. And I'll go with Drought and Call the Ferocity. Easily thresholding those. Okay, yeah, so that's good with Relentless Gaze of the Sun. I'm going to clean up a city and fast with them, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about city builds on Relentless Gaze's board either, because I will be able to destroy the city that gets built here. So, well, there is this city build too. Lots of cities. I gave up my fear spam card, so gonna be a little bit tricky, but I'll see what I can do to make that work. Maybe it is time to refresh and replay Vigor, which I'll be able to do this turn, so I think that'll be good. Let's come over to Heart of the Wildfire. If I can give some energy over, that would be great. I don't want to have to reclaim. It's not the worst thing in the world, but adding more presence is going to be better, I think. And if I go for Growth 2, can gain a power card, have 4 card plays, and try to get a lot done. I'll see if I have to go into E6. Okay, yeah, that'll be fine. I'm just going to gain a minor, so I'll be able to afford it. And I've got Gift of Living Energy. Wow, that's fantastic. Fire in the Sky, don't really need. Yeah, probably just Gift of Living Energy here. Compassing Ward, yeah, okay. Easy choice, great elements. 0 cost, it's perfect. So yeah, with that, I'll go bottom track. I'm gonna have to go into here so I can add a blight to that land. But I guess it's just gonna do enough damage to destroy the city anyway. So when I go in there, that's gonna do 3 damage, 4 damage with the Badlands. So that will destroy this city. Instead of destroying it, it transforms into a town and an explorer. And yeah, I'll keep stacking up in this jungle. Why not? Okay, 2 fear for that. Okay, so that was just growth. Now I've got 4 card plays. I'll play my 4 cards. Blood draws from predators, savage maw beasts, gift of living energy, and threatening flames. Alright, cool. So that's set. Let me go into fast powers. So first, I'll use Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. So I already have plenty of fire and plant, so target spirit may forget a power card to gain a power card and one any. So let's just go ahead and forget. I guess I'm just going to be reclaiming, so I'll just forget domesticated animals go berserk. Gain a minor. Alright, I've got one coastal blight, so that's not super useful really. Call to Isolation is going to make it easier to threshold vigor, so I don't have to keep getting animal with my elements. Swarming wasps, fine. Yeah, I think Call to Isolation here is good. So let's go with that. Even if I'm just playing it for the elements, it's pretty nice. With the element that I get from that, I'm going to go with an animal. I also need a... I need a moon, so I'm going to go moon. I won't get the extra fear from Scorching Convergence, but that's okay. Yeah, because I don't want to add too much blight. Okay, so that's that. Now I can do the same thing over on Heart of the Wildfire. So I'll just forget Desiccating Winds from discard. Gain a major, or gain a minor, excuse me. Elusive Ambushes is nice. Sear Anger into the Wildlands is good. Call the Bloodshed, probably better. Yeah, let's do Call the Bloodshed. So I can do a lot of damage with all these Dahan here, eventually. I get an element as well, so I'm going to get an Earth. That unlocks the second level of this power. So target spirit may pay 1 energy to replace 1 Badlands with 1... replace 1 Blight with 1 Badlands. I'll do that on... Actually, I'm not going to do that on... Well, I'll have Gift of Living Energy, so it's fine. So yeah, I'll do that over here for 1 energy. Break this 3 up into 3 1s, because I'm going to need to do that eventually. That adds another Badlands into that land. I'll pay 1. Over on Wildfire. And it's going to remove a blight somewhere. Let's go this land. They are going to build there, so I kind of want to keep that one. So let's do this one. Now that goes to that card. Just because it's going to be easier to target stuff if I still have a blight in that land. Okay, so that was first 2 levels of transforming. Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. Then I have the right elements to hit the 3rd level, so I can replace an Explorer with a Beast in 2 lands. I guess this one. No, I'll go with this one. Crowded land, if I get damage per beast, that'll be better there. Okay. Then Gift of Living Energy is going to go over to Gaze of the Sun, so it gets 2 energy from that. Not 3, because I don't have 2 Sacred Sites. Okay. Let's see. Jungles, mountains. Can't push anything out. That's fine. Okay. Cool. So let's go with Threatening Flames. I can do 2 here for that. So that unlocks another fear card, gets me to Terror level 3, so if I can destroy all the cities that are left, then I win. I'm using it on this land here, so I can push 2 towns, because it's, well, actually I'm Terror level 3, so I can push everything out. So let's push those guys into this very crowded land. Then I have Blood Draws Predators and Firestorm. So I'm going to go ahead and use Firestorm right here. So it's going to be, how much? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fire. Still only 2 plants, so I don't get the 1 damage per fire, so it's going to be rounded down to 3 damage. So I'll do that 3 damage into this land, but first I'm going to target with Bloodjaw's Predators. So the next time invaders are destroyed in target land, add a beast, and then 1 damage per beast. So let's destroy the city and the town for 3 fear. And I'm going to add a town and 3 explorers from that with transformation, and then push them into E8. Stack up in there. Alright, then because damage was done here, invaders were destroyed, I add a beast, and then 1 damage per beast, 5 damage because there are 2 badlands there. So that's going to kill 5 of these explorers, finally cleaning them up a little bit. And yeah, I think that's all I got. I don't get the extra damage on Savage Mobbies, unfortunately, this turn, but that's okay. Okay, so I think that's all my fast powers over on Heart of the Wildfire. Did Firestorm, did Threatening Flames, Bloodjaw's Predators, Gift of Living Energy, and Exaltation of the Transforming Flame. All set. So let's go ahead and go to Relentless Gaze of the Sun. I'm going to consider a Harmonious Nature on myself, just the first level, so when my powers would add Blight, I may destroy my presence instead, from there or elsewhere. And then I'm going to do Vigor of the Breaking Dawn, targeting C5. Doesn't do any damage there, but that's fine, because then 2 of these Dahan are going to get pushed into C6, because I have the Threshold. And then in lands that I push Dahan to, 2 damage per Dahan. So that's 6 damage. That'll kill a city, town, and an explorer for 3 fear. Then I'm going to pay 4 energy to repeat that card. Lots of energy there. So again, 0 damage in this land, but I'm going to push 2 of those Dahan into here, I guess. Let's see, they're going to Ravage Sands, so yeah, I'll do it over here instead. Well, actually I can split them up, right? In lands I push 2. Yeah, so I'll push 1 over here and 1 over here. It's so strong. And then 2 damage in each of those lands, which thanks to the Badlands will clear them both out. 2 more fear. Another fear card, and I am 3 fear cards away from victory, so 24 fear. Or just cleaning up the remaining city, of which there's only 1, so I should be able to do this. We'll see. Might not be able to get all the way over there with Relentless Gaze of the Sun, but next turn I'll be able to do it pretty easily. So yeah, that's that. Let's go into the invader phase. So events. Got a Blighted Island. I always get the Blighted Island events when I have a Blighted Island. Disillusion threatens. Spirits are losing awareness and control of pieces of themselves. Each spirit chooses to accept the fragmentation, destroy 2 presence, and add 1 wilds in place of each. Or focus your will towards wholeness. Add 1 of your destroyed presence to 1 of your lands. Next turn, all your powers are fast. Or next turn, all your powers are slow and cannot be fast. I don't love that. I don't like that I'm going to be losing a bunch of presence on Relentless Gaze again. But I'm going to destroy 2 presence here. You know, actually, because if I could add a presence in there, I can probably just kill it. Nah, it's not worth it. So wilds there. And on Wildfire, I need a Sacred Site, so I'll do this one and this one. Now it's wilds in place of each, so a little bit better. Okay. Then Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. Great. Let's just, that one's going to take care of itself, so I'll just do these. Here, do these guys. And then lay ambushes during Ravage to Han deal damage at the same time as invaders. Cool. Alright, I'm Terra level 3 now, so I've got 3 Terra level 3 cards, and sometimes these are game winning, so we'll see. There's only one city left. Wary of the interior, each player removes one explorer or town from any land. Even though it's interior, it can be any land, so let's remove this town so they don't build a city. Same thing here. Yeah, that's good. Struggles over farmland. Each player adds 1 strife. Then in each lane with blight, 1 invader with strife does damage to other invaders. Yeah, I think that's got me the game. So, because it doesn't say that they have to be different lands, so let's do it here. And then this invader with strife deals damage to this city. It's got 1 health left. Add another strife with my second use. 1 damage to the city. 1 to an explorer. 2 fear. And right now, after that fear card, there are no cities left on the board. And it's each land, so yeah. Oh, I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So, still got 1 health left on that city. We'll see if something else will clean it up. So, instead of adding that strafe there, because just each land with blight, strafed invaders do damage. Let's add it up there. Okay. So now, after adding those strife, in each land with blight, 1 invader with strife does damage to other invaders. So I did the 2 damage here to this city. Right here, I do 3 damage to that explorer and city because of the badlands. And right here, I'll do 1 damage with this explorer, which becomes 4 thanks to the 3 badlands there. So that'll kill both towns. That's kind of cool. Alright, so I've got 1 health on that city left. Each player chooses a different land with Dahan. 2 damage per Dahan there. Perfect. So I'm going to choose this land. Do damage to that city. And an explorer. And here. 2 damage per Dahan, so that'll wipe this out. And yeah, then we finished up my fear cards with Dahan Raid. Now we're good. Now there are no cities on the board. I'm in Terra level 3, which means that I win. That was a pretty cool game. I really like this combination of spirits, Bard of the Wildfire and Relentless Gaze of the Sun. I think I got to lean more into considering a harmonious nature with Relentless Gaze of the Sun, and that was fun. Getting Vigor of the Breaking Dawn is always amazing. It's a really, really strong card. So the fact that I can threshold it every time that I play it is incredibly good. It can affect a bunch of lands, does a lot of damage for just 3 energy. And then repeating it is awesome if you can stack a bunch of Dahan up. So that was really good. Getting Drought as well. I feel like overall I had pretty good card draws with Relentless Gaze of the Sun, so no complaints there. And then as far as the transforming aspect goes for Heart of the Wildfire, I like it. You do lose a little bit of the early game aggression because you can't clear the invaders completely. You're just kind of transforming them. So maybe it still would have been better to try to pocket the inland and be a little bit more aggressive. I didn't play any cards the first 2 turns, but I think it ended up being okay because on that 3rd turn, I was able to start doing Exaltation of the Transforming Flame with multiple thresholds, thanks to underplaying those first 2 turns, and that ended up being really, really powerful. So I don't have any complaints about that. I think that strategy worked out pretty well. So hated Blighted Island, but, you know, that's kind of expected with Heart of the Wildfire, regardless of how careful you are. And Relentless Gaze. It's 2 spirits that I blight, you know, even if I can avoid adding Blight and take it off the map eventually, you're going to hit a Blighted Island. But really, I didn't feel threatened by this game. I wasn't close to losing to Blight. Still had a couple turns left, so that was fine. And the coasts were under control the whole time, so I was never really in danger of losing to the Scotland loss condition. So these 2 spirits, very powerful against Scotland. Very powerful in tandem, I think. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think of the transforming aspect in the comments below. It seems really good. I know this game was very long because there were a lot of card draws, a lot of card replacements, a lot of stuff from Scotland, and they tend to be a pretty sticky adversary. So I apologize about that. Hopefully you made it through the whole way, but if not, that's okay too. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see everybody next time.